Good morning, good day, good evening, good night. Whenever you're watching this, from wherever you're watching. My name is Christian Flem. I'm a coach and teacher at Free Flow Religion. I'm going to start with an opening cleanup. Now let's just breathe deeply for a little while and try to make the exhale longer than the inhale. So breathe in. Breathe out. You can breathe in at your own pace. You breathe out and make a ah sound. Ah. And imagine breathing in love, beauty, harmony, whatever rocks your boat. Just breathe out all the negativity. Ah. If you can just allow yourself to be as you are in this. Allow the thoughts to just think. Allow the breath to breathe. And lean into the feeling of the air on your skin, nose, on your skin, sense of your body on whatever surface maybe sitting on or laying down on. Take a deep breath. Ah. As best you can, just allow everything to be as it is. And allow yourself to arrive fully as best you can in this moment, which could be said to be your true home. And check and see if there's anything in your experience that you might be resisting right now. Just allow yourself to feel into that push of resistance. And could you just allow it and open up and let it go? Very gently. As best you can, just feel into it. Letting go. As we proceed. Check and see if there's any sense of lacking control, wanting to change, wanting to control. Could be an event you want to change, something you want to happen, something you want to end, be a person. It could be yourself. And could you let go of lacking? Just a gentle opening, just a loosening of the grip. Check again if there's more of that sense of lacking control. Could you just allow it be here for now? And just open up and gently let it go. See if you can be courageous and just allow things to be what they are for you. That allowing is what opens up transformation. And check and see if there's any sense of wanting approval. Could be from yourself, could be from a friend, a colleague, a husband, a wife, lover, a pet. Just remind yourself that wanting is lacking. So could you let go of wanting approval, lacking approval? Check and see if there's any sense of disapproving of anyone or anything coming up for you right now. You might want to ask yourself, that disapproval helpful? And could you just let go of that sense of disapproving? And as best you can, open up to giving approval, to giving love. Could you even give some love to that person or situation or thing that you were disapproving of? And could you even open up to your real nature being love without any conditions? And just do that as best you can. Do we go deeper? Check and see if there's any sense of lacking safety and wanting to have it. Could be about health, finances, the world. Could be a general sense of lacking safety. You can look around wherever you are and ask yourself, am I safe right now? And could you let go of wanting safety? Just the wanting. And again, see if there's more of that sense of being unsafe. And if there is, could you first just allow it, acknowledge it, and just open up and allow it to leave. And you can try to feel into the sense of being a person, of being that person with your name, your gender, your color, your origin, your story. And just welcome that feeling of the personal. And allow yourself to notice what's feeling that. What's feeling the feeling of the personal. And as best you can, just allow yourself to drop into that. And check and see if there's any sense of lightness, freedom, or happiness you might feel more in tune with after this little release. And if you can get in touch with that, could you tune into that even more? And just allow it to bloom inside you as we listen to the silence together. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes if they're closed. Just allow this energy to stay with you as best you can. And today's theme is changing your relationship with another person. So we're gonna do a little release about that. But before we do, the floor is open to questions, sharing of gains and insights, and requests for assistance. And everybody's most welcome, and we can turn off the recording if somebody feels uncomfortable being on the recording. You don't have to speak so much about what it is that is bothering you if you have difficulties with that. And you can just type in the chat as well if you can't find the raise hand button. Yeah, that's basically it. And we can just listen to the silence together for a little while. If anybody is hesitant about raising their hand. If anybody has any stories about how a relationship with a person changed to the better, they can raise their hand. Or if anybody has a person they would wish to better their relationship with, they can raise their hand. And as we go into cleaning up about a person, I will try to speak from my understanding of this. And it's not meant to fill anybody's head with more concepts. This is pointing at something deeper than the words and the analytical mind. We like to think of each other as separate things interacting, like separate islands, you could say. Whereas in reality, we might be more like waves in the same ocean. And that ocean is the oneness we are all belonging to, even though it might not always seem like that. And I'm going to do a release based on a procedure that was when Lester Levinson, you see the originator of releasing, which is on the picture here, wonderful person. When he was alive, this procedure was introduced for coaches and facilitators. They had been releasing with a person, where they had been facilitating with a person, for them to clean up whatever might have get stirred up in them. Like we're all humans and we all can get stirred up by each other. So this procedure was always done after a facilitation. And then it was released for everyone, thankfully. And I will do my own version, my own free-flowing version of this with some additions. So you can see if you can find a person that you want to better your relationship with. And if you feel courageous, especially if you're more experienced, you can pick a very difficult relationship. And would also advise you could pick somebody you really need to clean up your relationship with. Someone that plays a role in your life, for good or for bad. It doesn't have to be a problematic relationship. It could be somebody you're in love with or fond of or anything. So just picture this person or focus on this person. And first, we're going to do something called finding agreements. You can even do this procedure on yourself, by the way, or on a thing, if that is needed. So, could you find something you like about this person? And just feel into that. I mean, even if you dislike this person very much, it might be some things you could pick that you actually like about them. So feel into that and check and see if that is wanting approval, wanting control, or wanting safety. One will be predominant. And could you let go of wanting approval, wanting control, or wanting safety? And check and see if there's anything else you like about this person. And allow yourself to feel into that. And is that wanting approval, wanting control, or wanting safety? And could you let that go? Check and see if you can find another thing you like about this person. And is that wanting approval, wanting control, or wanting safety? And could you just let that go? And one last time, check and see if there's anything you can find that you like about this person. And is that wanting approval, wanting control, or wanting safety? And could you very gently let that go? And check and see if there's any sense of, or any sense that this person wanted to control you, or if it seemed like that. So is that what seems to be happening? And that sense of somebody else wanting to control you, someone else, might be creating resistance in you. That's what happens when somebody wants to control you. You experience resistance. So feel into that resistance. And could you let go of that resistance? And check and see if you want to control that person or change that person. And again, you can remind yourself that wanting is lacking. So could you let go of wanting to control that person? And just allow yourself to feel into the release. Allow that to leave you as best you can. And again, I can see if that person wants to control you, or it feels like that. Is that what seems to be happening? And could you let go of wanting to control that person back? Check again and see if you are wanting to change or control that person. And could you let go of that sense of lacking control as best you can? And at this point, you might feel a slight release or a bigger release. So could you tune into that feeling of lightness, freedom, happiness, and allow that to transform the space between you and this person? What would this look like from a place of love? And could you just tune into that? And could you now, if you're ready, and you can later you can listen to this recording and go back and forth. So could you just allow this person to be as he or she is? Could you grant them their beingness? And check and see if there's any wanting approval from this person, wanting them to love you, wanting them to respect you, to validate you. You get the idea. And could you let go of that sense of lacking approval? And check and see if you are withholding your love from this person. Maybe there's a sense that you can influence them by withholding your love. For example, And could you let go of withholding your love from this person? And check again and see if there's any sense of lacking love from this person. And could you let go of that sense of lacking love? And check and see again if there's any disapproval of this person. And again, you might ask yourself if that disapproval is helpful in any way. And could you let go of the disapproval? And again, check and see if there's any feeling of lightness, freedom, happiness, anything like that. Could you give yourself to that? And send some love to that person as best you can. Could you send some love to that place where you're meeting? That togetherness of the two of you. And again, just do this as best you can. Could you send some love to yourself? Could you send some love to that person? Could you send some love to the two of you together? Allow that love to do its thing and transform. And could you open up to having only love and approval feelings for this person as best you can? And check and see if there's any sense of lacking safety, wanting to be safe around this person. Is that what seems to be happening? And remind yourself that wanting is lacking. And could you let go of lacking safety as best you can? And check and see if there's any wanting to make this person unsafe. Any wanting to threaten, harass, or intimidate them coming up in this moment. And just be honest with this. And could you let that go? And check again if there's any sense of wanting to be safe with this person. And could you just take a deep breath and let that go? Ah. And check and see if there's any wanting to make this person feel unsafe. Wanting to harass, intimidate, or threaten them. And could you let that go? You can now check and see if you might have a slight sense of more safety with this person. And if you do, could you tune into that and allow the light of that space to shine on the situation between you and that person as best you can. And could you open up to only having safety, well-being, and trust, a sense of safety, well-being, and trust with this person? Wonderful. And check and see if there's any sense of wanting to reject or cut off from this person. Any sense of wanting to be separate from this person. Is that what seems to be happening? And could you let go of wanting to be separate from this person? And check and see if there's any sense of separation between you and this person. Lacking or wanting oneness. And could you let go of the sense of lacking oneness with this person and wanting to have it? And again, check and see if there's any sense of wanting to reject or cut off from this person. And could you, as best you can, let go of wanting to be separate from this person? And again, check and see if there's any sense of being separate from this person, or being rejected, being cut off by this person. And could you let go of the wanting oneness that this might have stirred up in you? And check and see again. You might feel more in tune with the oneness inside you. With a place where everything meets. And from this place, can you open up to the meeting, the oneness between you and this person? And as best you can, could you open up to having only a sense of oneness, of you or me with this person? And check and see if you have any stories about this person or about your relationship to this person. A story might be very often consists of always or never. Like this person always behaves like this. This person never does this. This always happens when we meet. This never happens when we meet. So see if you can find any stories like that that comes up right now. And you might look for things to the contrary. Very seldom the always or the never really exists. Might seem like that. So does that story seem to be true? Is that what's apparently happening? And could you, as best you can, let go of that story? Could you open up to the meeting between you and that person being fresh? Could you open up to new beginnings in your relationship with this person? And could you send some love to the meeting between you? And let's check again for stories that always or that never. She never appreciates what I do. He never appreciates what I do. We always quarrel. Whatever stories might come up for you. And could you open up to those being stories? Could you let go of the story or the stories? And could you open up to freshness, to nowness between you? And let's do that one more time. check and see if you can find any stories about that person or the relationship between you. And could you let go of that story? And check if and see if you have any story or any identity about who you are in the relationship between the two of you. And could you let go of identifying with that? Could you open up to the newness or the knownness which is always available? Check and see if you are placing any identities on that person. And could you let go of placing that identity on them? And again, you might notice a sense of more freedom, more lightness, more happiness. And from this place, could you allow that meeting of you to transform? Could you allow the light to shine on the meeting between you? And could you open up to seeing the light in that person as best you can? Could you open up even to seeing the divinity of that person and the divinity of your meeting together? Thank you. So that is a way of working with your relationship to a person. And it's good to remember that meeting, the meeting of two persons is just a happening. We are not really separate objects. We're more like waves meeting each other. And when you change what's inside of you, when you open to that, you also open to that person changing and the meeting between you changing. So I hope that was useful. And if anybody has anything they would like assistance with, anything they would like to share, any gains or insights, you can raise your hand. It's in the little line when you put your cursor down to the bottom of the screen. You might see a little line of icons. And on the right side, there's a button that says raise hand. And if that is difficult to find, you can also just type in the chat. And you can even type in the chat if you just want some assistance with something and don't feel like speaking or being on camera. And if not, we're going to go into the closing cleanup. So just check and see if there's anything you're resisting right now. Bye, Daniel. So could you let go of that resistance? Check and see if there's anything you're wanting to control in this moment. Could be something about the meeting or how well you managed to release. Could you let go of wanting to control? Could you let go of wanting to control your releasing? And could you just allow everything to be as it is right now? And check and see if there's any wanting of approval in this moment. Lacking approval, lacking love. And could you just acknowledge it? Allow it to come up and out? Could you just allow it to be released? And check and see if there's any sense of lacking safety in this moment. And could you let that go? And could you open up to everything being exactly as it should be in this moment? And just allow your divine life to unfold.